Gate 9 Entertainment.
The following audio presentation may contain mature language, situations, and violence. Listener discretion is advised.
Miami, South Island, Industrial District, East Gem Alley Road, Saturday, August 28, 2410.
He knows more. He's an embassy agent. He knows a lot more. We should keep going.
It'd be a waste of time, wouldn't it, Agent Jones? Not get anything more out of him.
It's that time, huh?
All right. Bring him in.
We got a treat for you. You get to meet an ex-president.
I don't know who you are, but I'd like to. Nice.
You're close to death right now. Don't push it.
Easy, Sam. He's just a fool. We meet again. But then, don't we always?
Again? Who the hell are you?
You don't remember me.
Where would I remember you from?
It was just another day. For you, I know. You shouldn't have done what you did. You shouldn't have done that.
Done what?
Harlan Hill. Wednesday, the 15th of June, 2407. You were one of the agents that beat the hell out of me, and later held me down while they tried to take my memory again. It didn't work, did it?
I don't know what the fuck. I have no idea what.
I told you I would be coming for you. I told all of them. You don't remember living it once. I have lived it thousands of times.
No.
That too.
Should we check to see if he's dead?
You all need to clear out of here. You have about 18 minutes.
18 minutes till what? What's going on?
Flashers will be sweeping light across this building. In 18 minutes, you will escape. You'll all die another day.
You are listening to Edict Zero, FIS, the science fiction audio drama series, starring James Keller, Julie Hoverson, Phil Rossi, Tanya Milojevic, Russell Gold, Fiona Thrale, Michael Hudson, Robert Cudmore, Chris Barnes, David Collins Rivera, Caitlin Sneddon, Dane Leonardson, Owen McEwen, Sarah Golding, Folly Blaine, Austin Beach, Jennifer Dixon, Pandora Q, Stefan Rudnicki, and creator Jack Kincaid.
You all need to clear out of here. You have about 18 minutes.
18 minutes till what? What's going on?
Flashers will be sweeping light across this building. In 18 minutes, you will escape.
The prediction ability already started.
You'll all die another day.
He was only off by... You shushers.
What is he talking
Why
about?
didn't you shush Briggs?
I
Quiet.
would listen to him. When he has moments like this,
Quiet.
listen to him. Be wise.
So,
Z. Poke. Let's go.
Oh, that's
now.
weird.
From the hidden HMS running. You want me to wipe it?
No, rip it out. We take it with us.
You do take it. You always take the HMS.
It's like he's looking right at us.
There might be something important on it.
And there is. Isn't there?
Can you not weird out right now? Come on. I'm not going to ask you again.
We go.
Did anybody else get the feeling that he was talking to us there for a moment?
No. I doubt that the master program could predict that so far ahead.
Agent John's body was never found. His Armos chip had been ripped out. They took the body and disposed of it somewhere. With the exception of your suspect, everyone you saw on that HMS video is now deceased.
They referred to Zeke Derringer as an ex-president. Could they have known about his client? Could they
He was
have
using
known
the alias of James Polk at the time. James Polk was a president of the United States on Earth. Old Earth.
Now that makes sense. The embassy didn't even know about his privileged connection at the time.
How could they not know?
That lies with the nature of the privileged connection. It is a security feature for VIP. They needed an inference.
Such as?
Why he was able to escape quarantine in the clandestine complex.
Amanda Bassett, or our suspect, she called him Poke, but Zeke called her Sam.
It's most likely another alias.
Well, it's clear now that she was part of Neo, the New Earth Order. They both were.
No.
Zeke No?
That is inaccurate.
The New Earth Order splintered 7 years before that into a number of groups. The most prominent were the Order of the Watchtower and the Chariot.
I misspoke. Yes. It would have been one of those.
Don't you have an agent who specializes in counterterrorism in your unit? Never mind. I'll find her name for myself. Continue.
His.
Continue, please.
That mistake was on me. All on me. Okay?
Please, continue.
It would have been the Chariot. That's the group that Mr. Cook was embedded in as Sigmund Bryce. The Chariot also claimed responsibility for the Columbia Square attack and Holland Code.
The Chariot will claim responsibility for anything.
Good point. So, what we saw happened in Miami. Miami qualifies as being part of the Grady Belt, doesn't it? Damn. Where's Zern when you need him?
I apologize. Now I remember. It was a lesser-known group that came out of Neo, but they traveled in the same circles.
The Chariot also splintered into lesser groups, of which both Beth Severson and Timothy Van Ridge are known to be a part, so it stands to reason.
Agent Foster, what is your area of expertise exactly?
Criminal. Investigative. Most of my career in the FIS, when I was just FIS, I spent in cold cases.
Then you've probably heard the name Nick Garrett.
I've been trying to forget it.
Stop, I have to take this. Continue without me. I expect everything discussed in a report. Excuse me.
We can take a minute. Why don't we back up the video for another look, see if we can catch anything else?
Okay, we can do that.
Hey, you're good. All good.
This is not my day.
It's nobody's day, Agent Foster. It's just a day.
Capital City, Mainland. FIS Headquarters. 5th floor. Friday, April 3rd, 2415.
2410. That's the year I got off the violent crimes merry-go-round and transferred back into organized crime. Bay City. I miss it sometimes. So what's the deal with the Harlan Hill story that Zeke told? Was that true?
There was never any misconduct report filed on Agent Johns. If you mean the memory erasure attempts, that's in his file. They tried it many times. He escaped from custody many times. I think he holds the record.
We now know why he was always one step ahead.
Hold everything. Derringer gave the date of that incident. It was 2407. Mr. Cook was in Harlan Hill at that time.
A lot of people were in Harlan Hill. Do you know how big it is? Have you ever seen it?
That is definitely worth a look.
There's something else bothering me, big time. It's been bothering me. But it could be a coincidence. Working in this unit taught me not to trust coincidences, but some still happen, I'm sure.
The floor is yours, Briggs.
The Chariot used to leave tarot cards at locations. Only ever the Chariot card, of course. I found one in the Parker residence, the Melissa Parker case in '09, I think. That one I traced to a train station gift shop, but I didn't have a reason at the time to look any deeper.
You didn't look into the manufacturer?
In order to trace it, I had to, but... And this could just be me, as I don't like things going to waste or needless spending. But there are hundreds of these cards and evidence from different cases, different events. What about the rest of the decks that they came from?
I'm not following where you're headed.
It would be expensive to buy all those decks for only one card in each of them. Is that where you're going with this?
Partly, yeah. My mind keeps going back to Zeke Derringer's death cards. I think it's the same size and style as the Chariot cards.
The promotion cards for one of his bands, yes.
Death at Dawn.
I have a suggestion. Find out who made those cards for his band. Compare them to those left at locations by the Chariot. It's a hunch, a cop hunch. That goes somewhere. Not a number I know. I hoped it was Jules. I'll call her after we're done.
St. Cyrus, North Island. Kirkwood Cemetery.
Well?
The other section's too new. I have never seen so many ornate tombstones. They must have cost a fortune.
Burials cost a fortune by themselves. Any family laying their loved ones to rest this way have to be well-to-do.
The groundskeeper said it's always been a routine to remove items that were left on graves. Every few weeks, he said, so they can do upkeep.
I've found at least 5 pieces here, close to the headstone. The sea glass must have been placed on the headstone originally, the way some people leave pebbles.
Born in 2119. That means she was born on older... What I was about to say was wrong. It's hard to discard what we believed in for so long.
My mind went to the same place for a moment, too. It's still true, though, if the system was on old Earth when she was born.
Gwyneth Davies Brown, loving mother and grandmother.
Gwyneth? That's an interesting name. I've never known a Gwyneth.
It means happiness.
What?
The name. I have a niece by that name. The name means happiness.
She has to be the one that Spoon came to visit. She was 1 year younger than him.
She died in 2204. That would have made her about 85 years old. But what's the connection?
They were friends.
Were they perhaps more than friends?
They grew up together, they went to the same secondary school, and then again, they were classmates when she transferred from the University of Edinburgh to the University of Redcastle. Redcastle? I'm not sure where that is. Why haven't I heard of it?
It's somewhere on this coast. Or it was. It's one of those universities that closed a long time ago. In the 2200s, I think. It was the North Island State University of its time. I don't think there's anything left of it.
It was in Inverness, North Island. That's where the embassy caught up with him the first time. All of his friends and teachers were questioned. She's on the list. She was questioned and summarily released. No follow-up. They must not have suspected her of any involvement in Spoon's activities.
Questioned by an ambassador?
No, an embassy agent. There's another name here, maybe of another agent? Epperson? It seems to be missing data.
Maybe a CI?
The embassy completely lost track of Spoon between 2141 and 2208. It was as if he dropped off the face of New Earth for, 65 years? No, 67 years. That's a long time. That's a lifetime.
What if he was in stasis during that time? Like the situation with Matthew Gant.
I don't know, but 2208. That means Gwyneth Brown died 4 years before he resurfaced. He might not have known that she died. It's obvious that she meant something to him.
What does sea glass symbolize? Do you know?
Generally, not offhand, but I doubt it would be relevant. He goes his own way and likely ignores meanings that tradition or society assigns to things. Symbology won't help here. Any symbolisms will be personal. It wouldn't be what does sea glass symbolize, but what does sea glass mean to him, or her, or them? Kircher?
Hey, you. How things going up there?
We'll be seeing you soon. We had an encounter.
With Spoon?
A close encounter of the admin kind.
Hypnos, the 6th Island. Evermore Keep. Residence of Admin Priam.
Enter. You will find me in the study. Good evening, Tobias. Good evening, Seraph.
What is that?
Oh, that's different. Exciting. Yeah, it's is this some kind of new virtual interface? What do all those black and white spheroids correspond to? How can you tell the difference between those of the same colour?
It is a game of Go.
Go. Are you asking us to leave?
No, Seraph. What you see is a game that I am playing. The name of that game is Go.
And in this game, you go?
If I so choose.
Yeah, they look like M&Ms, don't they?
What are M&Ms?
Oh, I'll show you if we ever go on a walk. Oh, they might change you, Tobias. They're delicious.
Is it like checkers? Visually, it resembles checkers.
I would not compare it to that.
What kind of a game is it? How would you describe it?
The word Gestaltian comes to mind. It promotes a different sensibility than, say, playing chess. I hope to better develop that sensibility. I will be employing that right now when I say that you are both welcome in my home. However, has something come up that couldn't wait?
We couldn't find you earlier.
I returned to West Island for an hour to watch the natives.
Why? To detect corruptions?
I enjoy their imprecisions, especially those who take delight from them. It is at that time that I feel connected to them by a shared sentiment, even if I am ill-equipped to join them in their activities. It would be disruptive. They call it fun.
Oh, fun is one of my favourite phenomena. Yeah, you should see how they can dance to Bios. Oh, how they dance.
We executed the emergency protocol that you enacted. Vega changed the global variables that set the ambassador to debugging mode 2.
Thank you.
Yes, we discussed this, and we wondered if you...
Are you about to ask me if this was a good idea? A wise idea?
No, we aren't.
Why not?
You ordered us to not initiate contact. But shouldn't we notify the ambassador? Part of that debugging mode is for him to not be aware that it's been set. Have you considered that it might be dangerous for him to have to figure that out in the field?
Jedrick once asked the ambassador to recount his earliest memories. His memories of being an infant. Barring any corruptions, of course, his memory is perfect. To say that he began life as a chess program is not precise. It would be more accurate to say that he began life in a chess program. I say that in the same sense that he is in Edict Zero right now. That was the only environment that he knew. He did not know it as chess or a game. To him it was life, existence, the only understanding that he had of it.
He was programmed to play chess, so...
He was not. Unlike us, he was not born with knowledge, only awareness and a basic instinct to move when he could. He did not know how to play chess. He did not understand it on the simplest level. He had to learn. They did not start him with full games. It was limited to 7 moves, and then the pieces would reset. As he evolved, they increased the number of moves.
Why did they limit the moves?
That is another matter. The important thing is this. His first sense of a self that was separate from his environment. That was derived from the virtual chess pieces that he could move. He learned that he could only move them certain ways, as we can only move our fingers or arms or legs certain ways based on our appendages and their joints. His first sense of something separate from himself within his environment, his sense of the other, came from his awareness of the virtual chess pieces that he could not move, but would move in turn, in ways that he had not chosen. But because of the similarity, he came to understand how the other could move using the knowledge of how he could.
Oh, that is... wow.
At least until he grew and was introduced to grander environments. His only other awareness was that once the other moved, he would then have to move. And until he did, the other could not. And also vice versa, of course. When one of them did not move in turn, it would paralyze the other. But more than this, his sense of the other would fade. That condition was then and is now the closest thing to loneliness that number one can experience. It may seem primitive, but like most things primitive, it is powerful. He will avoid that condition and will not wait long to move, even if the move is surreptitious in this more complex environment. His instinct to live is intrinsically linked to his instinct to move.
This is truly wildly fascinating. Don't get me wrong, but how does this relate to what's going on right now?
In the game Go, you can pass on your turn to move. In chess, you cannot. You must move even when you are in Zugzwang. You can wait to take a move in chess, but that stops the game. At his deepest, most primitive level, to stop the game is to stop life.
Yeah, So you said that as if we completely understand now why it's all right that we don't inform him, but I don't think we do. We don't, do we, Tobias?
Not yet.
Oh.
We're getting closer.
Good. Yes.
Also, debugging mode 2 changes the nature of what moves he can make. And this is an opportunity to assess his ability to adapt to a changed place in his environment. His primary directive will force him to negotiate.
I will be satisfied if you tell me, please tell me, that this isn't just an experiment or to satisfy your curiosity.
No, Tobias. It is not that. It is not only that. That is a bonus. It means that he will initiate contact with us sooner rather than later. If there is nothing else, out now.
But may I just ask, what if the ambassador...
Out, please.
Okay, yes, sorry. We'll...
Yes, sir.
Shall we go, Tobias? Let's... Get after you.
Now, where were we?
Inverness, North Island. The ruins of Redcastle University. Courtyard.
Ahoy, Commodore!
I thought ahoy was a greeting to be said from a distance.
At a distance, aren't you always?
What ails thee?
We will save her.
We will, but this old pearl won't be part of it. You can't see it, but there's a large spatial jump gate field here. Toggleable.
Oh dear.
It's been here for 100 years, roughly. It's an old favorite, but it was demented of me to consider using it. Out of sentiment. Sentiment, can you believe that?
Sentiments.
I wanted to relocate it, turn it on end, and reconfigure it to limit the jump gate destination vectors to the values that I just fed it for our backup plan. It was silly. Brain damaged. I'm talking to myself. I do have the most incredible conversations that way.
You do realise that I'm only trying to help?
I do. You can't.
Have you ever talked about it?
Why would I?
Why would you? Really, I don't know where to begin in responding to that.
There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing I can do about it.
You shouldn't wall them up inside. You should remember them.
Are you also going to instruct me on some proper way to grieve?
We don't all grieve the same, but don't you think they would have wanted to be remembered as they were, rather than
as they were? If I had known Diane as she was, none of it would have happened. I would have seen it coming. I didn't. She deserved to be with someone who could have helped her. I won't make the same mistake with another person, for their sake, for my sake.
You won't move on until you actually move on.
Move on to what? At the very least, people deserve to be with someone who at least walks in the same world. If they don't have that, they might as well be alone. At least if they're truly alone, the feeling of being alone makes perfect sense.
Is that what you think you deserve?
Talk of love, is it?
Can you not just jump out of the walls?
No, Captain. You butted into the wrong conversation.
Nonsense.
From what I've seen, Captain, I doubt you know what love is.
I know what it is not. To keep others dear to us, from rightful destinies that are forsaken. To us. To pillage their heart, and rob them of time on their path. That is not to love. That is not to truly cherish. No. No. That. Love is not.
He is surprisingly on mark.
Is he vibing that off you?
Oh, the light in her eyes shined for the soulmate that she saw in his. Alas, his eyes were not windows. but mirrors. And the light not meant for him. Never meant for him. With the secrets that hope will keep so ferociously from the heart, how could he have known?
Ah,
Oh, how could
I see what's happening now.
It is wrong to create such a light. To invite the perilous struggle in vain. To keep it alive. Only to witness its death, as all the deaths before. Day after day to watch it die. For that inevitable tragedy, no lie, can be beautiful enough. For it is more than the light that dies. Oh, so much more. So
Hey,
much
thanks
more.
for the save, Captain. You made it all about Oliver Dooley instead of me. I like that better. While you're doing that, this seems like a good time for me to check on the others.
Nick, we were talking.
We can keep talking. In here.
The effects from the devices?
CCPE, remember? They all call trace lines.
Oh, yeah. What about the tech? We can't leave any of it behind for them to collect into evidence.
We won't.
Are we planning on saving Gemini, or are we blowing up the building and killing people?
What?
If so, I would like to voice an objection.
What?
We can't be killing people. I can't negotiate on that.
Who said anything about that?
No. We're gonna have them blow up?
No.
Those look like bombs.
They are bombs, Garrett. They're effects bombs. It's the same basic principle, but without the destruction. They're like our other instruments. Except, instead of a ray pointed at an entity, it's a splash bang effect that affects all entities within an area.
They are bombs. If they're gonna explode at the end of their scripts.
They won't explode. They'll pop out of existence.
Better.
A waste of good wares, but that's how it has to go.
Let us hope that we do not have to employ them, as they are for contingencies. Plan B and C. Jimmy, I have beamed you all their destination vectors for direct jumps.
It would be a waste of repurposed entities too.
We have ample supply.
Your updated maps had better be accurate. These won't do a bit of good if they're superimposed in metal or concrete or something.
Keep calm, we'll discuss soon.
Hello, and welcome.
Whoa.
Would you care for some...
Whoa! Who or what is that?
Spoon. What's with that? What are you doing now?
Is this one of those perverse things that we shouldn't have seen?
I have no questions or comment on this.
It's something for later when I find Van Ridge.
You're gonna do that?
We are going to do that. For now, we focus on rescuing Gem.
Do we know where Gemini is being kept?
Aye.
We do.
When did this happen?
Spoon took the captain to the staging area earlier today for a reconnaissance, and he found her.
I also saw the seer. They have her.
The seer?
You're talking about...
The spook girl.
Melissa Parker. Interesting. She didn't die.
I can still hear her melody. It resonates through the clouds. Through Gemini's hollowed mind. It resonates. Oh, even through you, Admiral. Even through you.
I don't hear anything.
Reach deeper into the well, below the well to feel it. The melody once so sad, now so soothing.
Talk of the spooky girl later. All ears, gather round as I present. Drum roll, please. Or not. The plan!
Capital City. FIS Headquarters. Office of Special Investigative Unit 415-8. Time, 8:12 p.m.
So what's the good word on our list of locations?
They're all being checked out by local assets. They're so scattered throughout the islands. There's a site in Diego, South Island, where suspicious activity has led to a surveillance perimeter. There's another in Moscow, linked to a suspect in an ongoing investigation.
An organized crime operation?
OCDP, yes. A hard target. They have teams monitoring choke points. North Island would be unusual for Timothy Van Ridge's geographical profile. The site in Oswego that agents from the Santiago office have taken an interest in looks promising. They're intelligence gathering now.
Agent Foster just updated us with a few new ones in New Rome, an old stomping ground. Rentagoons are on the job. He updated us collectively, not a direct to UC Resnick. I wonder if he did that because of earlier today, or because of the comment I made to her about that.
What is that music you've been listening to?
Some of the lesser-known bands that Zeke Derringer was in. Agent Garrett inspired me a bit. When there were suspects that were artists, he analyzed their art. I'm not sure I'm good at it, but what the hell.
There were others.
Just a few after Death at Dawn, after Fort Winston, before his memory started coming back. Maybe I ought to say crashing back. There's an anecdote in interviews of known friends that Derringer fell to his knees during a live performance and had quite a freakout. That was his last performance, as far as I can tell.
How are we doing on the financial angles?
These money trails go all over the place. I should have given those guys a little more credit. I've never seen anything like this before. Well, maybe once, and I didn't see it for long. I was assigned another task in a New Chicago Minute.
Are you spiraling down those rabbit holes that you were talking about?
This is different. Some go in circles, but others follow a hell of a scheme. Accounts popping in and out of existence, like blinking Christmas tree lights, but never at the same place on the tree twice.
That sounds familiar. You could expect to see the same for disbursements to SSG, informants, offensive penetration ops, but only when dead drops or the use of couriers aren't practical.
Quite a few went through First Mainland Bank in Harborview and Union Jack National.
Out of London. Agent Griever did arise from NIDOI, the birthplace of Edict 1 counterintelligence, well before his time. Not that the DOI will ever officially acknowledge its existence.
Harborview is certainly mainland DOI country.
Smells of cloak and dagger bullshit.
Assistant Director.
Agent Briggs. Stowe. Good evening.
I apologize that we took so long.
Where do I start? We have just come back from the Mueller building, where we had a meeting with the Deputy Director for Operations.
Deputy Director Church?
Deputy Director Church has been on sabbatical. I say the word sabbatical with quotations. No, the DO of the DOI.
The Directorate of Operations for the Department of Intelligence. And what's the position of the Intelligence Department?
They revealed to us that Zeke Derringer was an informant.
An informant?
You gotta be kidding me.
He's on their books, under his alias of John Caneron.
He met with Derringer after Columbia Square.
We know.
The short version is, they disavow any knowledge that he was involved with that cell or their plans at the time.
That's a crock.
For the vanilla DOI service, that might well be true. They might not have known.
What about East Del Rey and his interference there?
They had an answer for that too. Leave pursuing this to me. Thank you. Carry on as you were.
This message from you, Agent Stowe, what's the sensitive matter you were talking about?
Agent Kircher and Zern encountered an admin in the field.
An admin?
Yeah. Apparently, we're not the only ones looking for Spoon.
Why haven't you alerted the embassy?
By now, they probably already know.
We were waiting on you, and I didn't want to send it over your head.
I see. I take that back. Thank you.
I thought you might like that.
I will be recalling both of them to HQ.
They won't be here for long. Number 1 will want them in North Island.
Both of you, upstairs in my office in 15... No, 20 minutes.
You
Please.
have an office
No.
upstairs?
Come to the 5th floor, 20 minutes. Agent Kircher, you and Agent Zerner to report.
One of these days, when this is all over, if it's ever over, we should catch a drink. I mean, you know, not like that, but all of us as colleagues, you know.
I do know. You're with Jules. It breaks my heart.
Oh, I think my man card just took a hit.
I do know what you meant, and if you had meant otherwise, you would have been disappointed. Men don't move me in that way. That card won't do you much good.
Gotcha. So, I'm not pretty enough, eh?
You're gorgeous, Briggs. I'll see you upstairs soon.
Gorgeous. Yeah, I am. I just can't help it. Hey, it's a curse.
Inverness, North Island. The ruins of Redcastle University. Library. Shadow Group base of operations.
Have to carry out this rescue as stealthily as possible for as long as possible. If an ambassador is alerted too early and responds, we're done.
So the margin for error is going to be small.
Minuscule. Getting in without detection is almost impossible.
Fortunately, we don't have to worry about getting in, only getting Gemini out.
What do you think, Garrett? She's being kept in the most secure facility in the world.
But not the most secure ward within it. Prisoners there are patients in incapacitated states. For any to have the ability to walk out of there or try to escape is unthinkable.
That's good for us.
If they're keeping her there, they must believe that Gemini is forever blanked.
Refresher. Edict Zero is a succession of enhanced versions of itself going all the way back to the very first version, which was the recreational plaything of a programmer named Tara Griffin. That first version of Edict Zero was an enhanced hybrid version of a revolutionary for its time game called, as we all know, Fluxfire 9.
Do we need this history lesson right now?
Yes, I'm coming to a point. Patience.
The soul of the world in flux.
I'm sorry,
The
what?
ever-living fire.
Flux and fire. Heraclitus. He was a philosopher.
Is the name pronounced that way?
I think so. Now I'm not sure.
Now you've made me lose the rhythm. Fluxfire 9.
FF9. Where one world ends, the battle begins.
But not just the engine, no. Not only the program, but it also used the game data and built off that.
Game data meaning the world? Like the earliest settlements?
Correct. Some of them. Most of the architecture of the embassy in London and the clandestine complex is as early as it gets. In Fluxfire 9, it was the inner sanctum for the clients of the server admins and the elite. Occasionally, the virtual venue for exclusive events.
How do you know all that? Comments in the code?
Epperson, bear with me. Some of the security features of those structures are hard-coded and use specialized entities that are still in play to this day. One of them they call IDS-2, and it has been the downfall of many a soul.
That's why we can't just teleport in and teleport out with our extractor.
What does it do?
It tags what doesn't belong and tracks it to hell.
Barring special circumstances like a privileged client connection, yes, though it's not a tag in the sense of a trackable follow entity or a tracking device. It stores an index to the entity in an object array and outputs the origin fields of every element in the array to a running log.
My head hurts.
Spoon does that.
No,
IDS-2 ignores entities that are above its position on the grid, meaning anything above floor B5. It is dedicated to the clandestine complex. IDS-2 also ignores entities that are not solid, not physical, otherwise it would be tracking every service entity, maintenance entity, daemon entity, or ghost spectator that passed through its find radius. This is also true for the disembodied understudy entity. It is confirmed.
Would it also be true for his quantum if he was in no-clip mode?
When he moves his body through the walls?
He can also move others through walls. That's how he took me into weird space.
Yes!
No. Well, yes, he can move others through walls, but even if he could sustain the taste of raspberry ice cream in his mind for that long, he would need to drop the ghost state for at least a moment to take hold of Jem. A moment is all that IDS-2 needs, and then it has his number.
What?
Ice cream? Did I miss something?
I think I missed something too.
I'm not a number.
I'm a good citizen.
Captain, once you're inside Jem, can't you move her body that way?
No.
Take her right through the walls?
No.
No. Only if I caught her quantum. I must be bound.
That would have made things easier.
Easy is not allowed.
Cardinal existential rule. Jem will not be the captain's first stop. In order for this to work, we'll need downtime for the surveillance systems in the complex.
Did you hack into that? Because
No.
if you...
Isn't that going to be suspicious if they go down?
Not if they know the reason why. The person in charge of it will suffer a strange spell. He will be running a reboot that requires the system to shut down. That will give us a window of time.
You have someone on the inside?
We will. As I said, the captain.
The one in charge is a client, isn't he?
Oh, yes.
Correct, and on duty tomorrow.
What if the captain can't take full control of him? This guy will have a presence of mind. You'll have control of his body too.
Not for long. Leave it to me.
A lot of this rides on the captain.
I'll fail you not, Commodore. For I long to command a ship again.
After what you did with the last one, that may not be the best idea.
Do I want to know?
Our first goal will be to move Jem out of the find radius of IDS-2 as quickly as possible. If I swap her pointer before then, IDS-2 will detect her as a new entity without authorization, and then into the array the pointer to her will go. Bad.
Swap her pointer?
Module. Ta-da! It will need to be dungeoned down on my command. We will be in constant voice contact.
Yes. Contact.
Not you. Now, as I was saying, what this entails is taking the shortest path from her patient room to a lift on that floor. Quickly.
While the surveillance system is down.
And only while. The infamous lift number 1, or elevator 1 in the London Embassy, is a surveillance blackout area below ground level.
What happens in the elevators stays in the elevators.
When in operation, it barely registers as a security blip unless you open the access panel for the hidden floors.
Wait.
The captain will be selecting the ground floor.
Wait.
That's not happening. You can't have him try to walk her out the front doors.
Of course not. The lift will be empty when the elevator doors open. I will change her pointer and retrieve her between floor B4 and floor B1. I can even do it remotely. As long as the captain is still inhabiting Jem's body, I will know her origin because his will be the same.
Stalker!
Man, if something goes wrong, it's gonna be hard to know what it is, if about all we have is the location of the understudy entity.
A lot rides on the captain.
Gauge incorrect. We'll have much more than that. Feast your eyes on screen 3. My screen 3.
That's the map of the floor where Jem is?
Is the map right?
It is.
Are you sure it's right, Spoon?
Completely.
I've been there.
It is right.
So, this is based on what the captain told you of his experience there?
It is right.
You can all see for yourselves later.
What? How's that?
G is for Jem. X marks the spot on the lift. The shortest path between is about 70 meters of hallway with 2 turns and 3 security doors, not counting the door in Jem's patient room. If it was a straight run without barriers, it would take about 8 seconds, but opening
8 seconds?
the doors...
No. Not 8 seconds, sorry.
He won't be in his quantum. Jem is athletic.
She might be athletic, but she's not an Olympian. I used to run. 10 or 11, I'll buy.
Fine, it's irrelevant. If he zigzags, he could do 8. Physics exploit.
Really?
You pulled that right out of your arse.
Really?
You can try it at home. It's in how the big box makes vectors for velocity. Never mind that. Because we have the security doors. I estimate 5 seconds to pass through each one on average. If he moves fast, he'll have to punch in the codes.
Captain, can you do all this?
I can.
Shit.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
How will he know the codes?
We know the codes. He knows them all. He will know the codes.
How do we know the codes?
Because of a custodian without a security key card. I'm busy while you all sleep.
Spoon, you can't trust codes that you've clapped from the security video feeds. You know they're all scramble keypads.
I'm pretty sure Spoon said that he didn't hack the surveillance systems.
And you would be correct, Garrett. I did not.
Oh, here it comes.
What? Here what comes?
The bang moment.
When Spoon reveals the stroke of genius that he had without us.
Don't be ridiculous. It's a stroke of genius that I had a long time ago, but forgot about until I spotted it in my logs from 2272. That was a good year. It was a good decade. New Cairo isn't what it used to be.
You hardly ever comment your code, but you keep logs?
Do you normally forget strokes of